Jai Sri Krishna. This is Kavita from Hyderabad, and you're listening to the podcast of Bhagavad Gita, episode 3, for the people who love. I'm here to share the words given by the Sri Krishna to Arjuna. Do hear me out till the end and like, share, and subscribe to get more episodes of this podcast. So let's start. Jai Sri Krishna. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. Each chapter has various slokas which will detail in this podcast. This episode 3rd will be about chapter 3 and 43 slokas. Jai Sri Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Atha Tritiyodhyaya. Karma Yoga. According to Lord Krishna, Karma Yoga is a spiritual practice of selfless action performed for the benefits of others. Karma Yoga is the path to reach moksha, spiritual liberation through work. 3rd chapter, 1st sloka. Arjuna Uvacha. O Janardana, you say that intelligence is superior to action and yet, O Keshava, you got me to fight the war. Why? 3rd chapter, 2nd sloka. My mind is perplexed and unable to decode your cryptic language. Can you not tell me simple words which path to take? 3rd chapter, 3rd sloka. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. I have mentioned earlier also that there are two paths to transcendental enlightenment. One is the path of knowledge based on philosophy and contemplation. Other is the path of work or action. 3rd chapter, 4th sloka. Abstaining from work or physical renunciation is not the answer. Both are inadequate ways to divine enlightenment. 3rd chapter, 5th sloka. Not for a moment can one live without action. Whether one likes it or not, one is compelled to act, influenced by the three modes of material nature. 3rd chapter, 6th sloka. It's possible that one restrains one's senses but continues to think of sensual pleasure. He is not really inactive. He is Bhuta-apakrit. 3rd chapter, 7th sloka. Far better is one who controls his senses through the mind and engages oneself in karma without attachment, O Arjuna. 3rd chapter, 8th sloka. Choose to act. Choose to do your duties over inactivity or not doing your duties. Without action, we cannot even maintain our own body. 3rd chapter, 9th sloka. Remember, Kaunteya, that to liberate oneself from the bondage of existence, action has to be done as a sacrifice to the Lord. All other actions are binding. So, Arjuna, work without attachment. 3rd chapter, 10th sloka. The Creator Prajapati blessed all mankind at the beginning of existence to perform sacrifices that would please the Lord and assure his prosperity. 3rd chapter, 11th sloka. Sacrifices please the Devatas who then satisfy those who have performed the sacrifice. This reciprocation between gods and mankind benefits all. 3rd chapter, 12th sloka. When pleased, the gods supply gifts that are necessities for life, but using those necessities without performing sacrifices in gratitude is as good as death. 3rd chapter, 13th sloka. Saintly, pious people habitually take food that is offered to God, and by doing so they are relieved of their sins, but the wicked eat only for their enjoyment. Simply by eating they are sinning. 3rd chapter, 14th sloka. Living beings are dependent on grains. Grains are produced by rain. Rains are a result of performing sacrifices. One does a prescribed duty. 3rd chapter, 15th sloka. The prescribed duties to be followed are listed in the Vedas, the sacred literature which is directly spoken by God. Thus, all sacrifices revolve around the Absolute Lord. 3rd chapter, 16th sloka. Ignoring the cycle of duties are given in the Vedas is living a life of sin and irresponsibility. A life of sensual pleasure is a waste of life, Partha. 3rd chapter, 17th sloka. However, the prescribed duties do not apply to one who is eliminated and fully self-realized. 3rd chapter, 18th sloka. A self-realized person has no attachment to the results of prescribed actions. He has no motivation to perform them because he has nothing to gain or lose. 3rd chapter, 19th sloka. So perform your duties, work without attachment to the fruits of your actions. Only this can lead you to realization of God. 3rd chapter, 20th sloka. This is how King Janak and others have attained perfection, by action without attachment to results. You should also set an example for others by proper actions. 3rd chapter, 21st sloka. Actions of a great man are followed by the world. The standards he sets are emulated by the world. 3rd chapter, 22nd sloka. O Partha, even though I have no duties to perform in any of the three worlds, I still do my duties. 3rd chapter, 23rd sloka. Because Partha, if I do not do my duties, people can use that as an example for not doing their duties. 3rd chapter, 24th sloka. If I do not act dutifully, the world will suffer, and I will be responsible for that. There will be chaos, destroying peace of humanity, all because of me. 3rd chapter, 25th sloka. O Bharata, the ignorant act attached to the results of their action, whilst wise act without those attachments, thereby inspiring the masses. 3rd chapter, 26th sloka. The wise should not confuse the ignorant lest they stop work altogether. They should inspire them to act on their duties in an enlightened way. 3rd chapter, 27th sloka. It is the three modes of material nature that perform all activities, but the ignorant, deluding himself with the body, thinks that he is the doer. Chapter 28th sloka. O mighty armed Arjuna, a knowledgeable person knows all about the soul, karma and the gunas. He does not get entangled with attachments or sense gratification. 3rd chapter, 29th sloka. But those influenced by gunas remain attached to material objects and enjoyment. The wise should not perplex such ignorant soul. 3rd chapter, 30th sloka. The answer to this disease condition is to meditate on me and surrender unto me in full knowledge, free from desires, free from ego, free from grief, and then fight. 3rd chapter, 31st sloka. Practicing by teachings faithfully and without envy will bring freedom and karmic bondage. 3rd chapter, 32nd sloka. And those who do not follow my teachings out of ignorance and envy will live in bondage and misery for life. 3rd chapter, 33rd sloka. Both the wise and the ignorant act as per their nature. Nothing is achieved by suppressing one's innate natural tendencies. 3rd chapter, 34th sloka. It is the senses which affect desires and aversions. Do not let them in control, as they are enemies that block the path of self-realization. 3rd chapter, 35th sloka. It is advisable to act according to one's own nature and duties. Even if it is not done perfectly, it is still better than doing another's duty. Better to die while engaged in one's own duties than be engaged in another's path, which is downright dangerous for the soul. 3rd chapter, 36th sloka. Arjuna Vacha. What is it that makes one act sinfully and improperly against his will, as if by an overpowering force? 3rd chapter, 37th sloka. Bhagavan Uvacha. It is lust, and lust alone, which is the biggest enemy of the whole world, a product of the mode of passion. It eventually transforms into anger. 3rd chapter, 38th sloka. Excessive desire can cover mind's clarity just as smoke covers fire, dust covers a mirror, and womb covers a poetess. 3rd chapter, 39th sloka. Even the wise and learned are seen to be covered by this force of lust, which is insatiable like a raging fire. 3rd chapter, 40th sloka. Overwhelming the embodied soul and clouding its knowledge, lust takes charge to the senses, mind, and intelligence. 3rd chapter, 41st sloka. O best of the Bharas, waste no time in controlling the senses and killing the sinful demon called lust that destroys knowledge and self-realization. 3rd chapter, 42nd sloka. The senses are superior to gross objects. The mind is superior to the senses. Higher than the mind is the intelligence, and superior to the intellect stands the soul. 3rd chapter, 43rd sloka. The soul being superior can control the material senses, mind, and intelligence. O mighty armed Arjuna, use spiritual power to destroy the unconquerable enemy known as lust. Jai Sri Krishna. Summary of this chapter, Karma Yoga, is: in the last section of this chapter, Arjuna asks, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? Sri Bhagavan answers that it is the lust, material desire, the destroyer of knowledge and self-realization, which incites sinful acts, and he prescribes the method to conquer it: sense regulation, inspired by spiritual self-knowledge. The senses, Indriyas, mind, Manas, and intelligence, Buddhi, are the repositories of lust. Knowing the self to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, one should control the lower self by the higher self, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. Jai Sri Krishna.